Alright, so we're going to learn about the gradient mesh. Think of it as the big brother to the pen tool. So once you have a firm understanding of the pen tool in Illustrator, Bezier curves, anchor points, handles, then you come into the gradient mesh and it has the power to give you more realistic illustration, but it is very challenging. I'm not going to lie, I am not even a gradient mesh master. I know how it works. I can do it. I've had students end up being better than I am. It is kind of tricky. So we're going to learn how to do it with a basic bell pepper and then use it 1 or 2 times on your self-portrait. It's going to make some of the things we do on the self-portrait look a little bit better. Alright, so let's get started. Have Illustrator open. Then we're going to do a new document, Command N. We're going to choose our custom inkjet. Just get used to that for most of our projects. I'm going to do it in landscape and click OK. F to work full screen. Spacebar and drag just to get that centered. Then I'm going to File, Place. And you should have downloaded those starter files. I'm going to File, Place. I'm going to come down to my red bell pepper. There we go. That was the starter file. Make sure that link is unchecked. Nothing down here should be checked. And click place. I'm going to click here in the upper left hand corner. It's going to place my pepper. I'm going to drag it down a little bit. We're going to rename layer 1. Double click. And that is our reference photo. I'm going to drag that layer down to new layer to make a copy. Lock the reference photo layer. Whenever you're tracing something, gradient mesh or pen tool, you want to lock the layer so what you're tracing doesn't move, or else it can mess up your trace. Now clicking on the artboard here, I'm going to have my red bell pepper highlighted. I'm going to come up under Effect, Artistic, and Poster Edges. And I'm going to want you to do, let's move that over 1. We're going to go with 202. And what this does is it gives us kind of an idea of the lighting, where the shadows and the highlights are. That will help us create a gradient mesh, which is kind of a grid of where we want to change colors. So 202, click OK. We'll rename that layer Shadows and lock it. Right? Again, we don't want it to move. Then I'm going to create a new layer. And we'll call this pepper. We'll trace the pepper. Then we want to save what we're working on. So Command S. Go to your Google Drive folder. Right? We're saving stuff to Google Drive. And let's see. I don't think I have a project folder, so I'll create one really quick. Project or projects, and inside of there I'm going to do a new folder called Gradient Mesh and click create. Then using our standard naming convention, period number, last name, first initial, underscore what you're doing, and you can call that gradient mesh, something to that effect, and click save and click OK here. It doesn't matter. So that gets our stage set up and gets our document saved, and we'll be ready to learn about the gradient mesh in the next tutorial.